time. We never have enough of it, do we? Well, today at Jiveworld, we're talking about time phrases in Spanish. How to say things like ago, for how long, since. So you're gonna wanna make time for this. Have you ever heard phrases like desde que, llevo 2 años, things like that? All of these phrases help you talk about past time in Spanish. So if you're looking to up your conversational skills or your storytelling skills in Spanish, these are a must. Although time is such a basic topic, some of the ways that we talk about past time in Spanish are kind of idiomatic and they don't always come naturally to English speakers. So that is why I'm passing this knowledge to you, my friends. Let's get going. Vamos. First up, how to say ago. 3 years ago, 5 minutes ago. So to talk about how much time has passed from a fixed moment in the past to the present moment, you know, whether it's years, minutes, months, days, whatever, we're gonna use hacer. And you might be thinking, doesn't hacer mean to do or to make? And yes, you're right, but just stick with me. This is yet another meaning of hacer. So in English, right, we take the amount of time and then we just add on ago. So like 49 minutes ago, right? That's the pattern. I'm going to teach you the pattern in Spanish, and it's actually the opposite. So you use the verb hacer in the present tense, and then you add the amount of time after. So, hace 49 minutos, 49 minutes ago. So literally, word for word, it makes 49 minutes. So I don't know if that helps you, but it's just a literal translation. En WhatsApp dice que estaba en línea hace 49 minutos. So you can use hace in this sense with years, months, and a unit of time. Hace 2 años, 2 years ago. Hace 2 meses, 2 months ago. But ojo, watch out, I just want to give you a couple of disclaimers. Just because we're talking about the past here, doesn't mean hacer needs to be in the past. So don't say something like hizo 49 minutos. So if you want to say ago, it's always the present tense, hace. Another thing to watch out for, it's always the singular conjugation, hace, so the third person. So for example, it's never hacen, even if it's a plural unit of time like minutes or days. So don't say something like hacen 2 horas, it's hace 2 horas. You can also use hace with non-specific amounts of time, like hace ratos, hace mucho, or hace poco. Hace ratos escuché la nueva canción de Bad Bunny. Hace mucho que no hablo español. And let's check out one of our sound bites to see the expression hace poco in action.
Bueno, toda esta historia empezó porque hace poco leí un ensayo muy conmovedor que escribió Gaby sobre este mismo tema, y de ahí vino la idea de traerlo al estudio.
So that's hace, it's everywhere, it's super useful, so make sure you get a ton of practice in with this one. Okay, next up, let's talk about a few different ways to say how long something has been happening. So these phrases are ideal for situations that began in the past and are still ongoing. One way you can express this is with the verb llevar plus an amount of time. And llevar you might recognize to mean to take or to bring, but in this sense it can also be something like to be. But this is a pretty idiomatic way of expressing time that doesn't really translate very well into English, so just don't get caught up on how the meaning doesn't compare one-to-one. You know, with enough practice, it'll feel natural over time. So like I said, to say this, just combine llevar plus an amount of time. Let's see some examples. Llevo 2 meses trabajando aquí. I've been working here for 2 months. So in this case, you're saying llevo, I've taken this amount of time, 2 months. Llevo 2 meses. And let's hear an example in the plural. Mis papás llevan 30 años casados. My parents have been married for 30 years. So here it's llevan 30 años because it's referring to mis papás, my parents. So as you can see, llevar can be used in this way with short or longer periods of time. So it could be 2 months, it could be 30 years. If you want to put llevar into a question like this, there's a couple different ways that you can structure it. ¿Llevas cuánto? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas? So for example, ¿llevas cuánto aquí en Lima? How long have you been here in Lima? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas cocinando? How long have you been cooking? So that's how you do it with llevar. But there's also another option. Desde hace plus the amount of time. So desde means since, and this is a combination of desde with hace, which we learned in the first part means ago. So this is literally like saying since X amount of time ago, but it's really saying for X amount of time. So this one works pretty similar to the way that you use llevar, so it's just the phrase desde hace plus the amount of time. So for example, desde hace 34 minutos. For 34 minutes. Has estado mirando la tele desde hace 1 hora. You've been watching TV for an hour. So it's desde hace, for, plus 1 hora, an hour. Desde hace 1 hora, for an hour. But let's make it a bit more complex. Lo conozco desde hace más de una década. I've known him for more than a decade. So in this example, you can see how desde hace and the amount of time are separated by a bit more information. Más de, which means over or more than. Más de una década. If you want to ask a question with desde hace, you just follow it with cuánto or cuánto tiempo if you want to be specific. Desde hace cuánto tiempo bailas? How long have you been dancing? Desde hace cuánto te pasa esto? How long has this been happening to you? Okay, the thing is, there's a lot more to this word desde. Let's talk about a couple different ways that you'll see it and how to tell the meanings apart. So in its most basic form, the word desde just by itself means since, and it's a word completely on its own, just like in English. And it works the same way in English in that you have to attach it to a fixed point in the past. So the moment in the past could be a fixed year, desde 2000, since 2000. It could be a specific date in the past, desde 6 de junio 2004, since June 6, 2004. Or it could be an event, desde mi cumpleaños, since my birthday, or desde la Primera Guerra Mundial, since World War I. So I think this one is pretty straightforward since it works pretty much the exact same way as in English, so let's move on. Now there's also desde que, and this also means since, but in the meaning of since something happened. So there has to be someone doing something after it. So for example, desde que me fui de la casa, since I left home. So here it wouldn't be correct to say desde fui de la casa. You need to have the little word que in between desde and the rest of the phrase to link things together. Desde que. Ya no la invitan desde que se casó. They don't invite her anymore since she got married. Me siento mucho mejor desde que dejé de comer carne. I feel so much better since I stopped eating meat. So those are all the most common ways that you're gonna see desde. Desde hace, desde que. So how about it, friends? Do you feel more prepared to talk about the past in Spanish now? Once you learn this topic well in Spanish, you can be a more effective storyteller, you can have more detailed conversations, and honestly just understand timelines better in general. That's why it's worth the time. No pun intended. If you're feeling brave, leave a comment down below using one or more of the phrases we just learned. Get out there, I believe in you. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to practice this topic. Call out your friends if you need to. And we'll see you next time. Stay Jiveworld fluent. Bye.